Hello, everyone. This is Sarah Laws from Memberium, and I'm here today with our very first certified partner, Melodie Moore. Melodie is the founder of Business Tech Ninjas, and just as her company name says, she is definitely a ninja. Melodie and I have known each other for several years, and we're actually in the same certification class with Infusionsoft. But a funny side story is Melodie actually ignored me for several years, even when I tried to network with her at an event. And she just kind of brushed me off. But luckily, we both went to the first ever Memberium live event in Chicago a couple years ago. And we really connected and became friends and mastermind partners. And she's just awesome. So thanks, Melodie, for joining me today.
I am happy to be here.
Awesome. So Melodie has some pretty cool ninja things to show us today for how to automate client document submissions. And I know it sounds super nerdy, but it's awesome for things like certification programs, pre-event documents, and just interactions where your customer or client needs to submit something to you and things need to happen with your staff and emails that they need to receive after, and you don't have to manually chase and follow them up. So I'm really excited to see what she's got cooking. But Melodie, before we jump in, I have a couple of lightning fast questions regarding membership sites in general. And this is just about you and some of your preferences. So how many membership sites would you say that you build in a month?
In a month, we do about 3 to 5.
Awesome. And what's your favorite theme to work with?
We work with Aveda quite a lot, but we kind of talk to the client and see what the best fit is for them. Aveda is a little bit simpler, and we have a lot more design freedom with how we can format it. But if someone's looking for more gamification and they're looking for more of a social feeling to their membership site, then we will put them over to Social Learner, which is a lot of those features already built into it.
Cool. And now the age-old question of who is your preferred web host?
I feel like I have to say that I want to marry someone now with this question all the time. We use SiteGround a lot and also Liquid Web, and they're both very good. And one of the things we look for is just really good support because tech is sometimes kind of volatile, and both of those hosts have fantastic support.
That's awesome. Cool. See, I told you I'm pretty short and pretty painless. So let's jump into some of your awesomely ninja things that you're doing and show us what you have going on.
Okay. Do you mind if I kind of take you through the problem that this client had? This is I'll give you a little bit of background. This is a postnatal exercise program that she offers, an online program through her membership site using Memberium to help women who have just had a baby. And she then decided to offer a certification program to people that work with postnatal women to help them to understand her method, because it's been incredibly successful and helped over 30,000 women now, to help them adopt what she has used in her strategies in order to help all those women. So can I walk you through a little bit of the problem that we had and then how we've solved it with this?
Yeah, absolutely. That would be great.
When she launched this certification, there were certain items that she needed from every one of the participants. They needed to sign a contract that you can see here, upload attendee info, upload an essay, 2 essays. They needed a proof of whatever certification that they have. She required that they'd be a doula, a physical therapist, or a personal trainer, and they needed to have insurance. Now, the first one that we ran, that was all manual. And what that meant is that her team spent a lot of time chasing people around and being like, oh, hey, do you have that document? Or this isn't quite right and I need you to do this. And then people were submitting them through email. And then the team would then have to organize that and put it all in a Dropbox, and it wasn't connected to their profile. And it was just a big, hairy mess. So we said, we have the power. We can fix this. So using Memberium and Infusionsoft, we came up with, by using the membership site, they have their Mutu Pro dashboard, as we like to call it, where they can see all of the documents that need to submit. And I'll show you quickly what it looks like before they've submitted it. So this is my test user here. And the test user has not yet submitted their contract. So this is the contract. They can go there and download it. Then they just scan it, upload it to their computer, and then upload it here. Now, the really cool thing with this, and what Memberium allows us to do, is that when they upload this during using the file upload, it will name it as their contract, it will name it with the date, and it'll put it in their Infusionsoft contact record, which is just so, I cannot tell you how much this is going to help us going forward, because we now have a history of all the contracts and all of their stuff on their contact record, rather than having to go to like Dropbox and this place and that place to find it. And all of their documents are uploaded like that with the name of it and then the date. And then they can then go here and say, okay, I know I still need to submit my contract and my attendee info. Okay, got essay number 1. That's great. Still need to do essay number 2. Oh, don't remember what I'm supposed to do for essay number 2, but I'll click here and I'll go to the instructions for it. And then for these last 2, the team actually has to go and look at them and say, oh, is this valid? Is this a valid certification? Because they got some pretty funny types of certifications. And it's like, we can't really accept that as a legitimate certification, and we need to make sure it's valid. So the team right now with this is they have a task in their inbox to say, okay, go and look at that and just approve it. And then they would go and fill out an internal form to say, yes, it's been approved, which would update this and just have an approval notice here and also send out an email.
So you won't just
So
let somebody go into a crystal shop and get certified in something and go ahead and pass them.
No, we wanted the business owner, Wendy, was very certain that she wanted to make sure that when people took this certification, and then her clients, the ones that had taken her program or were looking for somebody to help them with the program, that the people that she was saying, yes, this person can help you, was legitimately qualified and very good and knowledgeable. And she's really taken her time to create a really good certification program to ensure that. And part of that was a lot of this just legwork, and through automation using Memberium and Infusionsoft, we were able to make this a lot easier. So we launched this during the last certification. She's run 2 of them now, and it took 1/10 of the time of what it did originally, if not even a little bit less. And it was just, and even going forward, it's going to save a lot of time and headaches, because they have to resubmit every year proof of certification and insurance documents. So we'll have that automated as well.
That's awesome. Before, I just wanted to point out one thing, if you can scroll up for me.
Sure.
You said how the files go to the file box, and it's great to store that information inside of Infusionsoft, because if they do it multiple times or whatever, I think that would really work. I mean, it's awesome for her process, but even if you're running a live event, you have to have someone sign off on it beforehand. You're going to have their signature each time when you have, I mean, you know, it's easy to sell to a customer again. So you want to have the same people coming to all of your events and buying all of your things. So that's an awesome point that works here, and for, you know, a ton of other scenarios as well. That's super awesome.
And you can use this file upload option anywhere within a membership site. We depend on it quite a bit for this particular sequence, but you can put this on even on LearnDash necessarily. You could, because with the Memberium shortcode, you can apply a tag based on them uploading the file. So if it was part of something that you had to do with LearnDash, then they would have to upload the file. And if they tried to go to the next lesson without uploading the file, the tag wouldn't be on their profile. So then LearnDash would tell them to go back and upload their file. So you can do some really cool ninja stuff with that file upload, and it's just so convenient having everything all on the Infusionsoft record as well.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Would you like me to show you the backend meat,
Yeah,
the Infusionsoft side of this? So I'm gonna have a little bit of a warning here for anyone who is not super technical. This might seem a little bit complex for you, but I'm gonna walk you through it step by step. So just take a big deep breath. This one is a little bit more complicated than what it needs to be. This is more complex because we've also put in event confirmations and then follow up, and she has 6 different documents that you have to upload. But you can create something yourself, or we can create a much more simplified version of this, which will automate your process as well. So consider this like the Taj Mahal of what you can do, not necessarily what you have to do. So don't let it scare you away from using this process. So I'm going to go back over here. So this is our campaign. And I'll walk you through as a step-by-step for the process to alert them that they need to submit The documents, they sign up for the event. They're then sent a confirmation email, and then shortly thereafter, they're sent an email saying, hey, we need these documents for you. Now, we don't actively start sending them the reminder emails until about a month and a half away from the event. And specifically because if the event's 6 months out and they've signed up, we're not really watching this all that much to make sure that we're reviewing the documents and everything. So we're not going to get on top of them until it's pretty urgent that we need them to get their documents. And we think giving them a month to get them the 6 documents is more than enough time. So they're sent, I believe it's like 6 emails. So they start 44 days out, and then they're sent several lots and lots of emails to remind them to submit their documents. And if they don't submit their documents in that period of time, then an email or a task is created for the team to say, hey, at this point we need to follow up manually because they've received many emails and they are not responding to email anymore. So we need to follow up with them manually and get their documents. If, however, they do submit all the documents, then they're taken out of that sequence, and then they're just given the pre-event reminders to say, hey, here's where we're going, here's where you stay, all that jazz that if you're familiar with doing events that people need to know. From that point, how we manage the team updating all of the different tags is through an internal form. And I'll show you the internal form from the front end. If you're not familiar with internal forms, just above the form submissions, there's this little option which usually says internal forms. And you just go here and you can go fill out. Mine's called Mutu Pro Affiliate. And for this, I just wanted the team to go into one place to be able to update everything really, really easily. Make sure we title it so it's clear what its use is. Sometimes, as much as an automation person, I would love to think that, okay, people are automatically going to follow my automation all the time, but that doesn't always happen. Sometimes people will email things in, and rather than trying to change people's behavior, we build the system around people's behavior to make it so that we just get them back to where we want them to be. And one of the instances in this particular one is that people sometimes email documents in. So if by the chance that they did email them in, then the team has the ability just to check this off and update their record so that in the back end, they'll know that it's been submitted, but they didn't necessarily have to follow this. And ideally, they'd upload it to the file box manually as well. Again, we hope and we want everyone to follow the system that we have in place, but human behavior is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, as much and cool, as awesome as the membership site is, you are always going to have the people who just email their information. So the internal form is a great way to have your staff update stuff. So that's awesome. And what I like to do with internal forms is even include directions. I mean, I know that your client has her team that she's had forever and they know exactly what to do. So you can step by step add information in here. So
you want to see something cool?
Yeah.
So we, for this particular client, we use emails, which goes to their task. They use Help Scout, but this could also be in a task. We generally will use tasks for this sort of thing so that people can go into My Day and edit everything. But when the team actually gets this, they get this email which says their insurance document has been uploaded. There's a link directly to the contact record, has all the contact's name, and then it has screenshots of exactly where to find the document. So it says, here's the file box.
Yeah.
Here's where you find the internal form.
Well, this is where it's great, so that it doesn't matter who is going. If you can put a brand new person into the spot, and they'll know step-by-step directions. If they forgot, if they haven't done it for 6 months, they don't have to go and miss any steps. This is perfect.
Well, that and her team, she only runs these certifications once, maybe twice a year. And her team's got a lot going on.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to expect them to remember every detail of my awesome process all the time. So again, it comes back to that point of we're not trying to change human behavior. We're using technology to direct it, to get people to do what we want them to do and follow a process. Because I think oftentimes what happens with automation is that we try to change human behavior with automation, and it's made for failure because you're not going to get people to change the way they behave, but we can use technology to automate the way that they behave, if that makes sense.
For sure. I mean, it's just a safeguard and a safety net. So
Mm-hmm.
with our automation, nobody is still slipping through the net. That's perfect.
Exactly, and I mean, you know, I'm a big fan of automation, which is why I like Memberium and Infusionsoft so much. And it takes the stress off of people, because before this would have been this was a very stressful process for the lead person that was taking care of this. And I remember having phone calls with her, and her just like, you can just hear the anxiety in her voice. And then the second time around, it was so much better. So I'll just go over two more things on this internal form. They had the ability to say if the insurance document, like if they needed something else on that insurance document, then they would then just push this little button. It would sends an email out to the client to say, hey, your insurance document is not valid. Please re-upload. If you have any questions about why, just respond back, which would then go to their help desk software, and then they can have that personal interaction with the client at that time. If it's approved, then it will apply the tag and say it's approved. So as background knowledge, all of these are just hide and show based on tag. So we're using the Memberium shortcode to say, if this tag, show this image. If not this tag, show this image. So that's all that is. And if you are going to use this process, just keep in mind that you're going to need to have, there's a shortcode within Memberium which will just update the tags on the contact record. And what that means is that if I log in, Memberium grabs my tags from Infusionsoft, but if I'm already logged in and I get a new tag, it will sometimes update correctly, but sometimes will not. So there's a short code that I put on this page to make sure that these are always the most up to date, if that makes sense. It's just a little, it's like it's one of those technical tips where if you're not the technical person that's building this out, you can just totally ignore what I just said. But if you are the technical person, that is a key point that you're going to want to know.
For sure. So it's a little check mark and a blue screen if they've done it, and it's gray if it's still waiting for them.
Yeah, I can show you that screen again. So this is the one for if they have not submitted documents, and once they've submitted it, I can make this disappear as well so that they can't upload anything. You won't see it on my other page because I'm an admin on this login, so it doesn't show up correctly.
Yeah.
Okay, let's walk through this process again. So this is my lovely internal form right here. Whatever you name this internal form is the name that you're going to see when you go to that drop down on the contact record. The final step on here is that once they have everything, that they can check this box. However, I've put something in place which makes it so they don't actually have to do that. The system is constantly checking anytime they submit any document to see if they have all documents. Again, we're just trying to make it so that people have to do the least amount of work possible so that they can focus on the high yield items like direct communication where people really need someone to talk to. But to have someone put that has all documents thing, like we don't need a person to do that.
No.
So for each one of them, there's tag triggers down here, which will send them a confirmation that yes, we got your documents. People love to be reassured.
Absolutely.
They just love it. So we have two ways of them being reassured here. One is on the portal, that they can look at the portal and see all their statuses. And the other is getting that email confirmation. Do all people care? No. But those 5 people that email incessantly into support say, oh, did you get my document? They're really big time sucks. Like they are just time vampires. So we put these things in place as reassurance measures it's like the garlic to the time suck people. Shall we say, to use the vampire analogy. So they can go here, they're sent the waiting on approval, and then they get moved down here once their documents are approved. A lot of the other ones don't require approval, so then they just go straight through. At this point, we just look to see, okay, do they have all the documents? And the decision diamond looks for all of the correct tags that we need, and if they have them all, then they're applied that they have all their documents, and if they don't, then they just go back down here continuously until that they do. And then up here, that's where this all documents submitted option goes, and then they get funneled up into this top port here. And then afterwards, we have a specific sequence that's specific to their kind of setup, which I don't think is super relevant to this build out. it's kind of like the high level overview on it, and just fantastic. The feedback on this has been amazing.
Yeah, I can't even imagine how many, like, to quantify how many hours the team is saving with this process is
Hmm.
got to be ridiculous. I mean,
Hmm.
and the just the peace of mind that knowing it's all being handled and you're not going to show up to your live event and it's now you're scrambling to find the documents and this person doesn't have this, like it's all handled ahead of time. I
Hmm.
think one of my big things and why I love membership sites is time is so important. We can't buy more of it, we have a limited amount of it, and the fact that this is all that you're saving your staff time and your people time, and it's, I mean, that's amazing.
Well, it also frees them up to focus on the actual event,
For sure.
because that's really where the rubber meets the road. Is you're going to have, she's got what, 50 or 60 people that come to this,
Yeah.
and we want to make sure that event for them is amazing because they're paying for it.
Right. And they don't
And
stress worrying, did I get all my documents submitted? Is there
yeah,
show up and they need an insurance document and I won't have it with me? And yeah, this is, I mean,
Sarah, we're making the world a better place with
we
automation.
are.
Reducing stress and making lives better.
But
I
anyway,
want to show you. I want to show you one more thing on that note. We have a dashboard item which shows them exactly where everyone is at. Too. I've cleaned this out. These are just random people that are in here right now, but like they would see. So at the end, after the certification is completed, you should have everyone. These two numbers should match down here, and this is so that from my perspective as the technical person that's in charge to make sure that all the tech is working, I'm looking for these numbers to match. The business owner can log in, or the event manager, whoever, like they all have access to seeing this of exactly where everyone's at any point in time too.
that is awesome. That is, I mean, hey, this is some ninja stuff you have going on.
I'm the happiest about how effective it's been.
Yeah, that's so, I mean, yeah, like I said, time is my biggest thing, and you are saving a lot of people a lot of time. So very well done. So it's
Thank you.
so freaking cool. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. And I can see it working for a million different things. I know you showed us with a certification process, but man, it can be applied to so many different businesses and so
Hmm.
many different sites for a number of reasons. So
Well, we're looking at doing it for a personal training company as well, where they have an initial session for their trainers, and the trainer needs to have a health history form. And the challenge right now is that people are showing up without that health history form 75% of the time filled out.
yikes.
And it's killing their conversion rate, and it's killing the trainer's focus.
Yeah,
So now we'll put something in place that if 48 hours before their session they don't have that form filled out and submitted, then sorry, we're going to cancel your session,
that's
because it's a low buyer readiness. If they're not committed enough to fill out that form, then they're not committed enough to buy sessions, and it's a
yeah,
waste of the trainer's time.
that's crazy and awesome that they can, I mean, even if they have the form and they show up with it and you're wasting time when you show up ready to work out because you haven't handled your paperwork. So that's
And it kind of puts, I mean, you really want people to be focused on getting the most out of the session too,
for sure.
rather than paperwork.
Yeah, nobody likes the paperwork.
No, no one likes paperwork.
So thank you so much for sharing with us. If people wanted to get in touch with you, what is the best way to do that?
So our website is businesstechninjas.com. There's a contact option there. You can reach out to me personally. It's Melodie, spelled Melodie, at businesstechninjas.com. If you have any questions, I'm happy to spend a little time and just respond back to you, and let you know. If you want to build this out and save yourself or perhaps one of your clients some time, then I'm happy to help.
That's
We also do offer it as a product as well, that if you want us to build this out for you, then we offer that as a service. It usually takes about a week to do. If you have a membership site already. If you don't already have a membership site, then we can talk about what that looks like as well.
very cool. And of course, you are on our Memberium implementation partners page. So
I am.
thank you so much for all of this and for all of the awesome things you do in the implementation world. And I hope everybody listening has an awesome day and goes and This is
And
inspired.
I'll see you at the summit coming up just after Icon, right?
Yeah, the summit.
All the cool kids are going.
All the cool kids will be at the summit. If you want details on that, Melody, thanks for that little plug. Is go to membership-summit.com, and I'll probably put the link in here for you.
I've been to every one of the summits, and I mean I build membership sites almost exclusively with Infusionsoft and doing the Infusionsoft implementation stuff. And every time I go to one of the summits, I learn something new.
Oh,
So it's a highly valuable event.
well, that's awesome. All right. Well, I look forward to seeing you there, and hopefully everyone listening can attend, and we'll see you there and say hi. And thanks so much.